Alright guys, how's it going? So, we're going to be talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold in this video. You'll have heard of him, right? Cracking player. I really like him. Now, earlier this week we saw all those rumours, didn't we? He's agreed a new £300,000 a week deal. No, he signed the deal. It was for 5 years. There was bonuses. There was no contract releases in it, nobody could come in and bid a certain amount, all that shite. All these shysters on here then all tried to claim that they were the first with it, and then there was certain so-called Twitter ITK accounts, saying Trent's agent meeting today with Liverpool at 4 o'clock and all that. Then there was all that, that going on with the seats and the blue. We've had it all this week, haven't we, guys? Now, around these parts, we've maintained a little sensibility, which is quite funny, because if you come to one of our streams on a Saturday night, you'll see the complete opposite. But I think that I'm not concerned about Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation, to be honest with you. I'm concerned that the club have allowed this, great player to run their contract down so low. That's bad management, whether you want to blame the current lot, the last lot, or whatever. I don't know, maybe there shouldn't be a blame game, but at the end of the day, stuff like this shouldn't be happening, and Liverpool of old would never let a quality, as Rafa would say, for sure, a quality player run their contract down into 2 years. So, but that's the situation, that's it. And I've never once thought that he could leave this summer. I just can't see that. I thought if he was going to sign a contract, if you'd have asked me back in January, I'd have been thinking it would have been like, later in the year, if you like, the second half of the year. We knew that we had the Euros. Maybe in January, I don't know what I thought in January, but, the Klopp thing changed everything when that announcement came out. We were all stunned, weren't we? And if you were a player, you'd be thinking about, what happens next? Is this club going to challenge? What's the new manager going to be like? Are we going to struggle a little bit? And, he's obviously very close to Bellingham. That's his boy, right? They're out in America right now. You might have seen the pictures of them. Away on vacation, it's obvious that Bellingham's going to be saying to him about what it's like in Spain, what it's like to play for Real Madrid, best thing he's ever done. He's going to be planting that seed, right? There's just no doubt about it. And I think that, if you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, you are thinking about what it might be like to play for Real Madrid. But also, if he stays at Liverpool, he will be the captain of Liverpool. I'm sure about that, for many years. And he's also a local boy, done good and all that. So, has he signed a £300,000 a week contract? Oh, let's rephrase that. Has he agreed a £300,000 a week contract? Well, when I first saw that claim, I was like, well, that doesn't sound right to me at all. But since then, regardless of my opinion, it's been suggested, by both the club, for sure, and his representation that there is no agreement, certainly no agreement of that specific details of like 300 grand a week or something like that. So everyone's saying it's not there. He's said to have had, a conversation with the new head coach. I hate using the term head coach. I just want to say manager by default. But the boss basically had a sit-down conversation. And obviously Liverpool want to keep him, and it's a priority to keep him. There'd be no point trying to sell him, because you're going to lose out on that. And who's going to buy him anyway? But what I want to say is that, we've seen these suggestions that he would be up for a move to Real Madrid, and he's certainly going to consider it, right? That's hardly a shock, yeah. But over here in Spain, there has been nothing in the media to suggest that Real Madrid have a great interest in him. Okay, so maybe that's a bit of agent talk. Maybe it's because of the Bellingham connection, putting two and two together, etc., etc. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a very good player. So, of course, clubs like Real Madrid are going to look at situations like that, especially when there's a way to exploit things. So if you're Real Madrid, you're going to be saying, look, would you want to come to us next year when, if you run your contract out? Do you know what I mean? So Real Madrid are not going to step up now, like they didn't with Lenny Yoro. They wouldn't pay that money. It was a case of like Manchester United were willing to pay it, Real Madrid weren't. Like, no, come to us next year, on a freebie or whatever. And I think that's the message that would be filtering back to Trent Alexander-Arnold. And if you were his representation, what would you be saying to him? You're going through a period of instability. You don't know what's going to happen at Liverpool. We could start the season and bomb. We could start the season really well with good intent. At the moment, we're not seeing a club that's showing much intent in the transfer market. That may change, but up to date, this window, we're not looking like a serious club. But I know what it was like last summer. Fans pulling their hair out, and then they get a signing and everyone's happy again. So fans flip-flop, they change very quickly. But if we as supporters think, is this not a successful club, is this a determined club, is this a club with real ambition, are these owners really ambitious? If we're constantly having those conversations about the not, what are you thinking if you're a player? So there's all these things going through his head. Now, if you were Trent, I wouldn't be in a rush to sign a new deal with Liverpool, and that's clearly been the situation. If you were his agent, you'd be saying that. You'd be going, let's just wait and see what happens. Let's see what the vibe is from Real Madrid, right? Let's see how the season starts under this new management. Let's see how serious the owners are in the summer. So it would make no sense to commit early on. Now, if there was an agreement in place, which I don't think there is, I believe the latest rumours and whispers and things. If there was an agreement in place, I don't think they would announce it now anyway. I think they'd announce it when it was timely and when FSG, when the club could use it to deflect, like when the transfer window closes or something. So, and the same applies with the other players, VVD and Mo Salah. Some people won't understand why I say it like that, but, the same applies with them. I don't see any of these players leaving now. I think the older two players, Salah and VVD, you can imagine them seeing out their contracts. It would make sense to. But equally, we wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of extension signed with a get out or something that we don't know about. Who knows? But staying with Trent, the reason for making the video is that the £300,000 a week claim can be dismissed, and the agreement can be dismissed. It's not there. It's not in place, guys. That's the reason for the video, and that's coming from his side, and that's coming from the club's side. So obviously the club are going to try and do everything they can to say, look, commit yourself to us, blah, blah, blah. But his camp are obviously going to delay things as long as possible to see what happens from Real Madrid. Now, usually when Real Madrid want a player, like I said in my briefing today, they're bully clubs. They think they can just go in and get what they want. And they get in a player's head, and they can be very disruptive, Real Madrid. A shit club, to be honest with you, right? But we're not seeing that from Real Madrid at the moment with regards Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I think if they really wanted him, then I do think that would be a problem. I do think he would consider leaving. But there is no indication that they really want him. Have an interest in him? Maybe, yes, why not? Why would you not have an interest in the best players out there? Especially those that are available for a knockdown fee, which that hasn't tempted them at the moment, and Liverpool don't want to sell anyway. But they've not even tried to instigate that via the media or anything. But maybe if he was available on a free, that's when they would step in. But unfortunately, we're not aware of what's going on in the background, So what I can tell you is this, and I don't think this, is rocket science. Liverpool are trying to get him to sign a new deal. His agent will be telling him just to let's stall this as long as possible, see what happens at Liverpool, see what they do in the market, see what the new manager's like, head coach, and let's see what Real Madrid do. And from Real Madrid's point of view, I'm sure they're filtering back, yeah, maybe there could be an opportunity, but obviously if you sign a contract, then that's not going to happen. So I will leave that with you. I don't think we've changed anything really. I think Fabrizio Romano himself said maybe yesterday or the day before, when all that hype was going around and hysteria regarding Trent Alexander-Arnold and a new contract, he was very level-headed and went, there's nothing new to say, even now in the last few days. And I would agree with that. I think this is Trent here. What's this? Nothing to suggest Alexander-Arnold is looking to leave or anything like that. So it's circumstantial. That's it. It's circumstantial. Real Madrid step up today. Things change dramatically. But you see what's on social media. If you're in the UK, America, around the world, wherever, if you're English speaking, you're probably following all of this. I get the added bonus that I do see what's being said in Spain. I see it on Spanish TV every night, every morning. If I go to the cafe, the football programs, magazine programs are on the televisions. I can understand it. I've got Spanish friends here that are football fans, and they know I'm a Liverpool fan. They'll tell me like that if they see anything. And there's nothing here at the moment going, Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's just not there. So because of that, that makes me think it's less likely for him to go anywhere and more likely for him to sign a deal. You know, I mean, there's not even suggestions of Real Madrid want to try and get him next year. That might follow. We'd probably get that around November, I reckon. October, November, if he doesn't get this new deal signed before then. A couple of days ago, I think that my opinion, when everyone else was being, hysterical with this new 300,000 contract, and that he'd agreed it and everything, when I was asking myself, I ask myself a lot of questions when I'm sat in this chair, I thought it wouldn't surprise me if the announcement just came out of the blue, but it would be well managed. And providing Real Madrid are not making moves in the background that we're not aware of, I see him signing a new deal with Liverpool. But this is just opinion. This is only my opinion, I'm not a Twitter ITK twat. No, a Twitter ITK. No, I'm the original ITK, mate, from the 1990s, I love you, Them fuckers weren't even born. And if they were, they'll have been on potties when I started KopTalk, just saying. So yeah, no £300,000 a week agreement in place, guys, so I would ignore those suggestions. This is the last place in the world you should pay attention to, all right? And you're going to say, well, why have you got it on then, chubs? But for the whole reason that I can say what these idiots are saying, I can guarantee you there's no one on that screen that I would pay attention to. But there's Fabrizio Noesitallio waffling on about something. But even him, it's selective with him and what he says, So it's good. You've got to monitor what's being claimed and by who. Because if someone comes on a stream later and says, oh, Dunk, I've heard this, I can go, no, I know where that's come from, mate. Do you know what I mean? And I don't just monitor this. I get emails in real time. The minute Trent Alexander-Arnold's name is mentioned anywhere on a web page, anywhere in the world in real time, I get a notification of that. All right? I'm hardcore. I watch everything for you guys. So I keep an eye on this shit, right? So chill. Let's hope Real Madrid stay quiet. But don't be surprised if he doesn't sign a new contract soon, like when the window, if we don't get that announcement, then it does get a bit squeaky bum. The longer it goes on, the more likely he is to leave on a free. Do you know what I mean? But that could also depend on the season. And it would make sense, right? So the longer it goes on, more likely to leave on a free. If Liverpool are struggling or it's going pear-shaped or FSG has shown no real intent and Real Madrid come knocking, who in the world would reject that? Liverpool fans talk about, oh, you're ruining legacy. Bullshit. These are professional footballers. You don't get the opportunity to go and play for a club with the glamour of Real Madrid very often, even those as fans think they're shysters. You just don't. And with your friend, your best friend. You've got to think about the weekends together, the barbecues together, the lifestyle, I mean, I'm in Spain and it's like that for me with my friends. What we're doing, let's have a barbecue, let's go, we'll go around to Dave's house this weekend, we're doing this, we're doing that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm a peasant. So imagine what it's like for them with their great big fucking mansions and there's unlimited money and fucking birds walk. You know what I mean? They've got everything. So me to get an opportunity to go and work with my friend, think about that. If your best friend, whatever you do, if you work in a company, a computer company, a software company or whatever, or you work in a factory, would you rather be stood on the end with your pal, your best friend, or would you rather be in another section of the company? Have you got a chance to move to that, to a better part with, a better part of the company on a higher wage with your best friend? Would you take it? Or would you stay struggling every now and then, not able to get the tools to do your job? Say, well, he's got fucking everything. He's doing all right down there. Do you know what I mean? So some of it's a bit of common sense. So I think the longer it goes on, the more nervous you should be. But that could also be because his agency could be just stalling in the hope that Real Madrid step up. And I don't think they have yet. I honestly don't. But that can change like that. And if something changes over here, I'll be the first to tell you because I'll see it. Before these fuckers get it, I can assure you that. So, but the worrying thing is it could change very quickly. All right, at the moment, nada, nothing. But give it a couple of months and then they might start their campaign to try and make it happen. The The only thing we don't know really, we can talk about all like trying to work it out, piece it together and that, but we don't know what's happening, you know, what's being back channeled between Real Madrid and his agent, if anything. But there will be some contact, because if not, his agent's not doing a very good job, you know. So we'll just have to wait and see. But the reason for the video was to say there ain't no agreement, there ain't no 300 grand a week terms agreed, and that's coming from his camp, and that's coming from Liverpool Football Club. If you appreciate the video, please give me a thumbs up, please leave me a comment on the situation, and if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, if you're a Muslim, you can't get out of it, all right? Then you can hit that super thanks button under my video, and I will give you a shout out in tomorrow morning's briefing to thank you. And also, please read the video description. You know, we've got all the social media links in there. We've got a chat room that you can come and join now. There's hundreds of Liverpool fans in it, all from here. You know, you can join that on your phone or your devices, whatever, your desktop. You can join the channel. You can become a channel member. You can become a VIP member. You can support or whatever, or just follow on social media. And I like people that follow my personal stuff. You know what I mean? At Duncan Oldham on X and Instagram, because it's nice to have friends, and you know, it's great to have the Red family interacting with you. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, I'll leave it with you. And as soon as I hear anything that might be of interest to you, I will certainly make you aware. Okay. And I just got a message. There we go. It's not Liverpool related. Okay, guys, speak to you a bit.